What's up, guys? Today we're going to take a first look at the Oneleaf MT-1000LRF. This is a thermal. It's a 640 by 512 thermal scope. So what we're going to do, we're going to go over some of the features here that the Oneleaf thermal has. We're also going to talk about the QD mount and taking it on and off the gun and will it return back to zero. So let's go ahead and get to the video. Okay guys, here's a quick guide to the Oneleaf.ai MT1000. This is a thermal optic. This is going to be a quick guide, not necessarily a full-length tutorial on how everything works in here. This is pretty much something that just gets you up and running. So arguably the most important feature is the power on and off switch. So you press and hold this for about 3 seconds until you see the display light up in the back. You also have a compartment here where you'll have your micro SD, and you can charge and also transfer files if you want to do it that way. It does have an O-ring to keep moisture from getting inside of there. We also have an O-ring sealed battery in here, battery compartment, and this right here has a 18650 lithium flat top battery. Right here we have our laser rangefinder, and once you have it turned on, you can tap this top button to access the laser rangefinder. If you want to access the menu, you just press and hold this top button just for a couple seconds and it'll pop up. You'll see that in the screen. If you want to record, you tap this button right here, and it's set for like 2 minutes, I believe, but you can set it for almost any length of time you want, I believe. On the left here, you can tap the left button back here and you can dim the device until you get to pretty much dark, and then it resets at its brightest setting. If you want to press and hold this for a couple seconds, it'll change between the different modes like snow mode, rain mode, forest mode, city mode, all that depending on where you're shooting from or what you're doing. On the right side, if you tap this, you'll access the false color. So sepia, black hot, white hot, night mode, medical, whatever it may be that you like as far as viewing. But that may change depending on what you are viewing and at what distance. So that's important to keep in mind as well. Right up here, we have our focus ring, so you can adjust the image to the clarity that you want, and then you should be able to get that in focus decently. Right back here, we have the ocular adjustment. This will adjust the reticle to your eye. Everybody's is a little bit different, and it'll make it nice and crisp. You just adjust this plus or minus, and it should make everything work pretty good for you. Right here, if you turn this clockwise, you will increase the magnification. Counterclockwise does the opposite. It brings the magnification down back to the 2.8x. So hopefully that's a pretty easy way to explain the features on the Oneleaf.ai MT1000. I think this thing is really powerful for the price, and hopefully you guys will check it out. But anyway, we'll get back to the video.
All right, so here are the settings, and you can adjust your reticle type. You can adjust your shot 0. It's pretty self-explanatory. We have a list here of different things that you can choose from. I won't go through all of these right now, but it's pretty easy to navigate, and you can see all those right there. Let me see if I can get this lined up. So guys, if you want to adjust the best picture clarity, this is where you're going to do it. You have a choice between 30, 50, and 60. You want it on 60 if you want the best. Strongest is where I have the sharpness, and we have the reticle type. Right now it's on white. When you want to exit, you just press and hold the top. We just tap this, press it down, and we get that.
As you guys can see, this mount is currently off of this 1022. What we're going to do is we're going to put it back in the same placement that we had it. We're going to press forward. These levers, we don't want them to interfere with each other. So I'm going to press back on this one, pressing forward on the lever, just like so, and it locks it in. So let's see if we can get some shots. We're not going to break away from the video. We're going to go ahead and load it up and see if we can get some shots. This is the ammo that I was using last time. I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. Got to press it like 3 seconds. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to load up this ammo. My hands are cold. I've been fighting pneumonia. So see if we can get this loaded up. And I'll demonstrate to you guys the repeatability of this QD mount. So go ahead and get into position. The charge the rifle. All right. Aim at the target and impact. All right, guys, this is not my AG Game Changer bag, but it's close enough right now. What we're going to do is we're going to aim here at a 2-inch target, because you might say, well, is that really zeroed good enough? We'll see. Got it. So that's 3. That went from 2 to, I think, 1.5 inches to like maybe 1 inch. Impact.
reticle. See if we can get stable. We have the reticle at about 65 yards. So we're on 0 and we're lined up. From what I can tell, it's kind of hard. I had to heat that rope up and run back here. There we go, we're calibrated. Okay guys, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to compare the laser range finding function of the Oneleaf Thermal compared to my SIG 5K, the Kilo 5K right here. I know this is accurate out to 2,000 yards and beyond, but I've tested it out to 2,000 yards at my local range and it did well. So let's go ahead and laze the first target. This one I know is at 50 yards, so we're actually showing, I may have moved that a little bit. It is 51.2. We're going to tap the top to start the laser rangefinder. Okay, we're at 51.6. Let's go out there to the big target board where I put my targets on. That is at 101.9. Okay, we got 98.98. So that's what we have, 98. All right, guys, we're at the long range now. Okay, we're getting 319 on the 12-inch circle. It's a steel target. 319. Let's use the SIG Kilo. We're getting 311.4. So 319 and 311.4, that's fairly close. Let's move on out to the IPSC target. This one is at about 467. We're getting 470 and it's going all the way up to 472. Yeah, somewhere between 470 and 472. But we'll check it with this because I moved this bench a couple times. So we're about 466. Impact. Impact. So in conclusion, am I impressed with the Oneleaf MT-1000LRF? For the money, absolutely. A 640 by 512 with a laser rangefinder, internal level. You have so many things with this. You can go in and change the shutter correction. You can basically, or clarity, you can adjust that manually or set it to auto. I kept it on auto. So you can dial it in even better than what you see a lot of the footage that I recorded with. So I shot at daytime targets, at still targets, which don't glow like pigs or foxes or coyotes. They don't glow like that. So if you're a hunter of those things, this would be pretty cool to have. And for the money, it's hard to beat. The QD returned to 0, a reasonable 0. It did really well. We did take this out to almost 500 yards with 300 blackout, just bulk ammo. We were able to get good hits on an IPSC target, as well as hitting a 12-inch circle at roughly 310 yards, somewhere around that. It's got a lot of functions. It's easy to use, easy to zero. It seems to be durable. I mean, they say the recoil rating is like 1,000 Gs, which is immense. So I'm not sure how that compares to a 50 cal right offhand, but it may work fine with that. And the heaviest recoiling rifle we used was this, a 300 blackout. And we were able to get hits out to distance consistently. So all in all, and that was daytime. Once again, if you shoot at nighttime and it's a target that is glowing a lot more than a steel target would, then yeah, you'll have more success, I'm sure, than even I did. But I like the Oneleaf MT-1000LRF, and
I use the 50mm lens most of the time, but the way you would get it for the $14.99 price, or at least right now, 2025, December, the way that you would get that would be about, would be with the 35mm lens, which is still fine, but the 50 I like better. And I'm going to get a 75mm lens out pretty soon so I can test that and let you guys see that footage as well. We'll probably go out to maybe longer distance with it and see what we can hit with that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys next time.